the D sound, place the front of your tongue against the back of your top teeth. Your mouth should be slightly open. Go to the Iowa University website and click on the triangle to hear how the phoneme D should be sounded.
Duh.
In this first section, Phonemic Awareness,
Duh.
we will only be dealing with the sound and not the letter or grapheme. Do not show students the letter until later in the lesson. Tell the students they are going to learn the D sound. Demonstrate how the word down begins with the D sound. Download the Cadiddle song sheet, Down by the Bay. Read out or sing the song Down by the Bay, emphasizing the D sounds at the beginning of the words. Tell the students that the word drum begins with the D sound. Pretend to hold drumsticks and beat up and down on a drum as you say drum. Emphasize the D sound. Ask students to do the same. Tell them to use this drum movement when they say or hear the D sound. Get Reading Lesson Sound Symbol Card 9. Show only the front of the card and say the word dog. Emphasize the D sound. Do the drum motion as you say the D sound. Ask the students to listen for the D sound and repeat it in the word dog. Instructions on how to assemble the cards are in the online lesson plan. Ask the students what sound they hear at the beginning of duck. Is it the same sound as at the beginning of dog? Tell the students that you are going to say some words that begin with the D sound and some that do not. Ask them to make the drum movement and say D when they hear the sound at the beginning of the word. Here are the words: dirt, dance, hat, dot, mop, dark, key, deep. Be sure to leave enough time between saying each word for the students to respond. Say the word kid, emphasizing the D at the end of the word. Say that this word ends with the D sound. Tell the students that you are going to say some words that end with the D sound and some that do not. Ask them to make the drum movement and say D when they hear the sound at the end of the word. Here are the words: hard, cat, seed, can, bed, mud, pen, had. Leave time between each word for the students to respond. Tell the students they should make the drum movement and say D when they hear the D sound at the beginning of a word in the verse that you are going to read to them. Here is the verse: dig dug, deep down in the mud. Does the dog dig all day? Only until the sun dies away. Repeat until the students can identify all the beginning D sounds in the verse. Ask if they can find one word in the verse which ends with the D sound. Give out the sound symbol card for D. Show the back of the card. Point to the small d and say, "This is how we write the letter for the sound D." Point to the capital D and say, "This is how we write big D," which is for important words like people's names. Point to the word dog and say, "This is how we write the word dog." Point out the letter D and say, "This is how we write the D sound at the beginning of the word." Give out the Cadiddle's writing practice sheets for little d and big D. Point to the small d and say, "This is how we write the letter for the sound D." Point to the capital D and say, "This is how we write big D," which is for important words like people's names. Say the name Daniel begins with the sound D. Model the formation of the letter D for students. Have students write the letter D in the air as they watch you write it. Have students trace the letters on the practice worksheets with their fingers. Ask the students to practice writing the small d and the large D on the practice worksheets. Now we'll move on to blending. Blending is the skill of sounding out letters all through a word into a natural-sounding word. Using a word card, point to the first letter of the word and say the sound. Then pass your finger to the next letter and say the sound, and so on. For example, for the word dot, say d, a, t. Do this again more quickly until the word is pronounced naturally. Show the word card for dad. Say that the word begins with d. Ask students to point to the letters that stand for d. Sound out dad while running a finger under each letter. D, a, d. Say the word quickly. Dad. Have the students sound out the word with you. Point out that the word dad begins and ends with the d sound. Explain that dad is a name, so it begins with a big D.